Tell me something, boy. Ain't you tired trying to fill that void? Or do you need more? Ain't it hard keeping it so hardcore? I'm falling. In all the good times I find myself longing for a change. And in the bad times I fear myself. I'm off the deep end, watch as I dive in. I'll never meet the ground. Catch through the surface where they can't hurt us. We're far from the shallow now. In the shallow, in the shallow, in the shallow, we're far from the shallow now. Hello, how are you doing? welcome to another episode of the In All Honesty podcast. As we all know, my fabulous name is Olive Oral, and today I am excited. This is the last episode of season. So we get to season 3 where I'll actually be involving you. So you'll send me in your stories, your thoughts, and then that's what we'll get to talk about because there's only so much I can go through. And if there's an experience that you have that you think I might have gone through also and you just want to hear my story, I'll also need you to send them in for season 3 so that we start on that. So season 3 is basically we are going community, okay? But closing down on season 2, I tried looking at the episodes and trying to find a theme for what season 2 was like, and I just could not find it. But what I felt is that the whole of season 2, I was just basically talking about very intimate thoughts that I have about basically intimate experiences. It was everything that was happening to me. And so in season 3, I want to hear more of people's stories. I want to share more of other people's, because I've only lived for 30 years. There's not so much there is to share. At this point, I think everything that you might have wanted, I have shared before. Anything I might have gone through, negative traumas, everything, I think I've covered in season 1 and season 2. And if anything else comes up, I am more than happy to share that as well. But on this episode, we are going to talk about the secret to happiness. I am so excited. So I get a lot of questions where people just ask me, how the fuck are you always so happy? And honestly, here's the thing. I've always been like a happy person. Not always. I'll give you the background. But around my mid-20s, or even early 20s, I started using humor to mask whatever I was going through. So people thought I'm happy, but I genuinely was not happy. And then as I continued to rediscover myself, to like put up new mental wellness issues, address them by myself, and then I got into the space where I am genuinely happy. Like right now, a lot of people just say, oh, check up on your friends who always look happy. They might be going through a depressing episode. That is not the case for me. But do check up on your friends who always look happy, because depression, suicidal thoughts, mental illness does not look like illness. If anything, it looks like healthy human beings who are out there thriving. So you can check up on your friends, yes, but you also don't take up the guilt for it. Don't carry that as guilt. Like if you did not check up on Olive and then Olive like did something to harm herself, don't carry that as guilt for yourself. You couldn't have controlled that. There were other things you were doing. It didn't come through your mind. So yes, you should check up on your friends, but it's not an obligation and you shouldn't hold guilt for it. I hope that sounds normal and mean. But anyway, secrets to happiness. And I'll start with the ones that, okay, not start, but basically this entire episode is about the things about the things in life generally that have made me happy up until to date. The things I've learned to do for myself that just make me a very happy human being. Okay. And one of them, I'll give you first a story that when I went to driving school, so immediately after Form 4, you know how people go do computer packages. Me, I went to driving school because in high school I had taken computers. So after in African homes, we just believe kids can't just be chilling at home after school. See, we know, so everyone did something. What to a CPA, what to computers, people who went to driving. I was one of them. So when I went to driving, there's times when I've driven with my mom and I'm just like, by the way, take this car and drive because you are too much. But my dad is very patient. And even like if you try and if you maybe do something and you almost knock someone, he'll just tell you, hey, that's how you learn. Hey, you're about to take us to police station or something like that. He's very humorous in the way he addresses things. And probably that's a place where I've borrowed a lot of things. But there's something my dad told me that has made me a very calm driver to this date. And all my sisters, all my friends ask me, how come you do not have road rage? Because my dad told me this one thing. He said, Olive, when you're on the road, everyone does not know how to drive. Everyone is a bad driver. Everyone is stupid. Everyone is not thinking. Okay, those are my words. He doesn't use offensive words. And he said, everyone is stupid. Everyone, just think of people as people who are senseless on the road. You're the only one who knows how to drive. You're the only one who's thinking straight, okay? So when you're on the road and you know that, nothing comes as a surprise. Someone will cut you off. Someone will I don't know, overtake in the wrong way. There's things that happen on the road. But if in your mind you've already registered that I'm driving on a road where everyone is senseless and I'm the only one who is thinking straight, then you'll be fine. And that has helped me to date. Let me tell you, I don't have road rage. I don't know what road rage is. Me, I just be driving, guys. Me, I'm just chilling, okay? People cut me off, I will laugh, I'll move on with my life. You strike my side mirror, I'll find a place to park, I go and fix it and come back and just continue. And I found myself so peaceful, unlike people who I see experience road rage, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, that is so much. That is, yeah, because now on top of whoever has angered you, there's now the rage that you're just spewing on them, or the anger or the revenge that you want to go and get from them. That vengeance, all of it is a lot of work for me. And most of the time, if someone does something for me on the road, let's say I am at Syokimau, by the time I'm getting to Nyayo, I've forgotten what they did and I've just moved on with my life. That's if you approach the road knowing that everyone is senseless. Anyone could attack you. Anyone could enter the road in a very weird way. So you are alert on the road. You know that, yes, this person knows that we are at a roundabout and I'm the one who has right of way. But also this person could be senseless. And for that reason, I'm going to slow down just in case this person is senseless. If anything happens, there is no crazy impact that could harm me or them. So it's just that. And I think I have carried that in very many places in my life. And now I'll go down to tips and tricks on how to be happy. Okay, for me, those things have worked for me. So one thing that has made me very happy, the one thing that I discovered and immediately became a very happy person, was self-love. So as you've heard me say in previous podcasts, I'm the kind of person who goes all out for people. I've been a people pleaser for a very long time. I didn't know what people pleasing is until the woke community, and now we are grateful for them. Thank you. So I was a people pleaser, and for me, I still have aspects of that, and I even see it with my dad. My dad is those kind of people who like makes sure everyone is comfortable before he even feels comfortable himself. So there's those parts where I still struggle. Like you'll find if we're in a group of friends and we're approaching a table, I'll make sure everyone is seated before I see if there's one extra chair left for me to sit. So it's not, I don't know, that I have learned from my dad. I'm still, it's not a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing to always let people go first. When it comes to serving food, if the system is a buffet, you'll see that I'll wait for people to serve first. Then whatever remains, then I can serve comfortably. I don't know. It's something that has come to me. That's something that I do. So with people pleasing and with always doing things for people, I used to feel hurt that people don't reciprocate it. So you are going all out. You're swimming oceans for people. People tell you, Ebu, take me there. You taking them there. Yani, you go the extra mile with everything. You're buying people gifts. And I keep telling people, to date, I have never received a gift from a significant other. We didn't stay together for a very long time. I love gifting. It's a love language. I love gifts. My friends know that. But somehow, when I was dating these people, I was a gifter. So I would come back home with a pair of shoes I saw. It looked nice. Oh, I've gotten Nani this. I would go. It didn't have to be your birthday. It didn't have to be your Valentine's. It didn't have to be Valentine's birthday. Nothing. I'm a gifter. That's how I show love. But let me tell you, these people I don't think were gifters. So at the end of the day, I just never got gifts from anyone in any sense. Anyone. Let's not even say what is it called? Let's not even say significant others only, even friends. But right now, the friends I have actually gift me a lot, because sometimes I'm just like, okay. But yes, so I used to gift a lot and it never used to come back. And sometimes I'd feel bad. I'm just like, why am I always giving people things and I'm never getting anything? And I also saw it with my mother, who was just like, I do and do and do for people. And not once can people even come through for me when I want something. And over time, I just realized, Olive, you see all that energy that you give to people, the love, the way you show people love. Why don't you show it to yourself? Like, just all you have to do is just mirror it back. That's all. And from there, I discovered extreme happiness, guys. Yani, happiness that I cannot even put to words. Where I was like, because for me, I've put very strict rules for myself. Or for me to buy a shoe, I must remove this one shoe from my closet, and you know what? I have to plan it in my budget. But sometimes, if I had a significant other or a friend and I saw a shoe that they would like, I would pick the shoe and take to them, even if it wasn't in my budget. Why can't I do that for myself? Why can't I just buy something on impulse to gift myself? So I started doing such things. So it came to points where you've organized a trip with friends and then they start falling out, or they want this or they want that. And I don't know, it just doesn't work out. And then I kept telling myself, that which you had planned to do, go and do it yourself. So if we've planned a trip and most of you fall out, I'm going for the trip alone, or whoever will be there on the last day when we've planned that trip. So I started doing things for myself, and that evolved into self-love. So self-love is beautiful. It is amazing. Like, you treat yourself the way you'd treat someone you love. So just think of, what are the things you do to someone you love? Do you hug them? Do you buy them treats? Do you take them out? If that's the way you love other people, if that's the way you show love to other people, do it to yourself. And me, that changed my entire trajectory of self-love. It changed everything. And now it takes us to the second point, where this another secret to happiness is prioritizing yourself. That's part of self-love, but here comes the plot twist. When you prioritize yourself, do not feel guilty about it. Guilt is very common. Guilt is weird. Guilt is a horrible feeling. But here's the thing. Guilt goes away over time. And you'll just learn to deal with it. Because I remember the first times I used to do things for myself or choose myself over someone else, I would even stay up at night just thinking of what I have done. I'd beat myself up. I'd just be like, oh, should I? And I remember there's a time I even had to switch off my phone. Because I was telling myself, Aki, the way I told Nani I want to be able to make it, and it was only for a selfish reason. Like I didn't have any other reason. And when I got home, I just debated about texting that person and saying, oh, I'm so sorry. And I kept telling myself, but Olive, you've done nothing wrong. This person told you about this thing 2 hours to whatever it was. You told them you're not coming, and when they asked for a reason, you said it's because you had planned to go home. Yes, it's not a solid reason if you look at it from that point of view. Now looking at it, I'm thinking that's a very solid reason, or even I don't want to is a very solid reason. But anyway, at the time I was just like, that's not a reason you give people. Like I had other plans, and the other plans don't involve someone else or something urgent. The other plans just involve you going home. And I felt so guilty, but I had to switch off my phone and tell myself, you're not going to text that person. You're not going to apologize. You're not, like, it's not your fault, and there's nothing you've done wrong. Even if, like, let's not even say it's not your fault. There's literally nothing you've done wrong. You're just used to making sure everyone feels good, even at your expense. And so guilt is something that you'll have to work through. I'm not saying it won't be there. It will be there. It will be very strong. In some cases, you'll literally cave in. You'll cave in and try and come back and make amends with these people. But at the end of the day, guilt was something I had to remove from my conscience. There's times when you feel guilty, and those ones are genuine. There's times when you probably did something that inconvenienced someone. If you feel guilty and honestly you feel like it's a mistake, then apologize. That's a good thing to do. But if you're just feeling guilty for holding your boundaries, or you're just feeling guilty for calling out someone on something they did that harmed you or was not right for you, do not feel guilty. And me removing guilt from the calculation has done a myriad of things. For one, removing guilt from the calculation took me off black tax. That I'll say confidently, because I come from a family, because of the way we have been conditioned as Africans. When you grow up, when you start getting money, you need to send back money to your parents. You need to do this. You need to pay school fees for your sister. But then I just sat down one day and asked myself, I don't come from a poor family. No, I don't. We are not rich. But my parents have means. My mom is working. My dad is doing biasharas here and there. They have two monies. They can take my sisters to school. They can, whoever they want to support, they can support. What is this idea of me getting my 6,000 Kenyan shillings? My rent is 5K. And with this money, I still have to split and send some money home. They're comfortable. They're living in a house where they don't pay rent. They have a kashamba next to the house where they can go chuna skuma. Me, if I don't have 10 shillings today, I sleep hungry. But still, it's been ingrained in us that you need to send something home. You need to send something home for baraka, for blessings. No. So that is something I worked through for a very long time. I was just like, Olive, you have to hold yourself. You have to hold yourself. And I remember there's a time I even set parameters. I'm only contributing money if it's illness or it's death. And death, sometimes I'd even have, if I don't have it, I'm not going to contribute, because there are instances where I'd be called to contribute money. Do you know I'd take Mshwari alone to contribute to someone's funeral? Surely. Why would I put myself in debt for money that I cannot even use? So me, I sleep hungry, and me, I've sent you money to bury whoever. And it's not being insensitive. It's just being, that person is dead at the end of the day, right? And me, why would I go in debt? If I don't have the money, I don't have them. If I had 200 shillings with me, I'd send you the 200 shillings. But honestly, going out of my way to go take a loan to contribute, it was a bit much for me, because then this loan, I have to pay it back with interest. What, for another contribution? Guys, guilt, just eliminating guilt from my day to day helped me a lot with the things I have basically been just doing in life. So take away guilt and you'll feel very happy. My mom used to tell me, my mom insisted that, oh, your house should be for guests. So let me tell you, 2021, 2020, I was living in a 2-bedroom because my sister was supposed to move in with me, but then COVID happened. So in that 2-bedroom, I was waiting for COVID to elapse so that we go back to normal, and I was thinking my sister would move in, but then it never did. So in this 2-bedroom, I remember my mom still saying, no, it's still good, even for guests, but I am thinking, what guests are we talking about? The only person who visits me is you. And you come like once in a blue. Like for my mom to come to Nairobi, it has to be something very important, extremely important. Like even church fellowship, she doesn't sleep at my place. They're given a place to sleep. The only person who's visiting me is you. But then I'm paying this entire rent just for the sake of when visitors come, they have to be comfortable. No, I moved to a place where it's just me. It's like a small space. And I started saying it outrightly because my mom used to give me grief for saying this out loud. I used to say, I don't want visitors. Visitors give me anxiety. Guests just make me feel like my house is now crumpling in. I do not like people in my space. If you want to meet me, we can meet outside. There is no problem. And that I started saying out loud. So those are some of the things that guilt just basically took away from me. And I hope it works for you. But guilt, I know for a fact, it will liberate you in ways you will never imagine. Wachana na ile ya kwanza ya kukua senseless on the road. Guilt, if you can just eliminate guilt, you sit like this and you think, what I did is logical. Let me move. If someone comes to you later and say, Olive, what you did hurt me in this and this way, fine, I will apologize and find a way to make amends. But just me holding out my boundaries and me telling you this and this doesn't make me happy, or this and this is affecting me in the wrong way, or I'm telling you no because I know I don't want that thing, or I don't need it, that I will not that I will not feel guilty for, and that has really helped with me being happy. So these days when money comes in, my money is my money. And as you can see, from the moment I started saying stop feeling guilty for like sending people money and like doing this, I've had more money, right? Because my money does not belong to other people. So money comes in, I plan for it. That's the way I've been able to afford life. I've been able to afford my rent. I've been able to travel, something that I wanted for so long, but my money was being split in so many different ways that I didn't get to use my money. So when I just said, hey, Bana, no, but then if money comes in, it's my money. Even if someone says someone is sick and you need to send money, I will send the money, yes, but it's on my own volition. I am sending you money because I want to send you money. I won't send you money because it's the right thing to do, because it's an obligation. No, I have a right to say no, even if it's illness or death. So at the end of the day, just removing guilt from the equation really helps a lot. But what we do, we live. And in the previous episode, I had mentioned that sometimes I used to feel guilty for my wins, right? Like if I get something or if I buy something, I am not able to share it with people because I feel like that's like some sort of bragging. Right now I'm just like, yo, guys, this is my win I'm sharing with you. At a time when I'll be failing, you will also witness it. And if you want to say sorry, fine. But we can't keep always living in the negatives and in the negatives, never wanting to celebrate the positives, because then that would trigger something negative. It just cannot work for me at this point. So guilt out. Another thing that made me very, very happy, or still makes me very, very happy to date, is that I figured out that you will never, ever figure it out. So this became very evident in the past 1-2 years. For people who know me from TikTok or Instagram, you've realized that my TikTok, my Instagram grew from last year. This is something I never thought would happen. I never thought I'd be an influencer, a content creator. I have stumbled upon this at the age of 29, 30. What does that tell you? That you do not, and can you imagine, we were told by 18 you should finish high school, by 23 you finish your university, by CG what you get your first job, CG by what you get married. So if I used that, if I used that system, I'd have never found out the things I've found out about myself for the past 7 probably years. Because every single day you found, I wake up today and I'm like, oh wait, I can do social media. Okay, so I'm offering these services to get this kind of money so that I can get by. Oh wait, I can do this. Oh, I can do voice. So can you imagine how much potential you have and how many things you can discover that you can do, or how many things your past experiences can help you discover in the future that you will not explore because of a way a certain system has been set. So for me, it was discovering that you will never figure it out. Life is not about figuring it out. And I think from the time I was 28, I said I will stop answering to the question of what are your plans in the next 5 years or 10 years, because I used to feel as extremely insufficient when someone would ask me, what are your plans for the next 5-10 years? And I didn't have any plans. Me, I can tell you, even right now, for a fact, I've planned up to December this year. And beyond December, I can't process. There's my friend's birthday, which is in January. She's planning a trip she already told me about. January of next year. She told me about it last year, December. So you can imagine, even her, she has a whole year to plan her birthday, and she's told me about it. So for that reason, I have that at the back of my mind, January 2024, and I had it at the back of my mind from December 2022, right? So you can imagine, for me, that has always been a question where I can't fathom. No particular year of my life has looked the same as the previous one. Never. So you can imagine me in my life trying to think that in 5 years I should be here and here and here. It's ridiculous for me to picture. But there are things that I have ambitions for. There are things I can say, in 5 years, probably I want to have built a house. I probably want to have this amount of income. Probably, there are things you can say are ambitious and you can set. But just telling me, what do you think your life will look like in 5-10 years? I can't even tell you my life would have looked like this today, last year. So things keep changing and you'll never figure it out. And also this happened when I was talking to my parents some time back. And my parents were like, oh, maybe we should have sent you to the States so that at that time, guys, I was struggling. I didn't have money. I didn't have anything. My parents are just looking at me. They're just like, what are you trying to do? Me, I can't go to school. I do not like to study. I don't like the systems of school. I study in other different ways. And people who've interacted with me can attest that I am very smart. But I gain knowledge in different ways, and school is not one of them. So they're asking me if I don't want to go to school. The things I'm interested in are things that they do not understand, which is basically in the arts. And we were there for a minute, and I just got to a point where I was just like, by the way, I'm not going to tell anyone my plans because even I don't know it. And at that time when my parents were talking to me, there's something my dad said that stuck with me. He said, even us, we don't know. And that was a mistake on our part. I think he was referring to, my dad was referring to them. So my dad has always been very protective of us. We're a family of girls. So he's always been protective. So my dad always did everything for us. Me, I remember the first time I moved into my own place, I didn't know how to use a token meter. I didn't know where Eldowas was. Eldowas is the water company for Eldoret. I didn't know where it was. My entire life, I've lived in Eldoret for 19 years and I didn't know where Eldowas was. The token meter, that was electricity. I didn't know how to feed my own electricity. The first electricity tokens I bought went to a different meter number. I tried following it up. It was never refunded. So my dad always did things for us. Me, I had never been to a bank. I had never opened a bank account. My dad does everything for you. What do you want? Olive, I'll bring it for you. My dad does everything for us. So at that time, we realized that. So it was him saying that he's realized his kids are lacking in certain things. Like at the time for me, it was particularly confidence because we weren't allowed to interact. So me, I was an introvert my whole life. Well, not allowed to interact like that, but we were believed, my parents believed in not ombaing, so we weren't supposed to ask for things from people. And now we realize that you're a grown up and you need to beg for opportunities. You literally need to ask people for a job. You need to ask people for ways to make money, for opportunities to live at their houses if you can't afford rent in a particular place and you've moved there for work. So my dad then realizes, oh wait, we told these kids their entire life to never beg or ask for things, and now they're in the part of their life where they need to ask for things. And he was just like, that's a mistake on our part. We didn't know either. And at that point in my life, I realized my dad is 60 something. Well, now he's 71. Whoop, whoop, whoop. But at the time, he was 60 something. And I was just like, if this guy, with all his 60 plus years, still hasn't figured it out, why the fuck? Why should I have all the answers? How come me I should be having all the answers? That is not possible. And for that reason, I started taking life a day at a time. Vile itakam, imagine. Vile itakam. We'll take that day as it comes. A day when everything is not working out is a bad day. We go to sleep and tomorrow we try again. I am sure on days when something hasn't worked out, the next day is not usually the same experience. Okay, unless you're in that phase where you're looking for jobs, where it's this disappointment, but it won't be like, today I got someone splashed mud on me on the road. Tomorrow, someone knocked me on the road. No, you won't have like a series of bad luck. So one day is usually better than the other. Some days are horrible. And you just realize that you'll never really figure it out. You can put down your plans, whatever works for you. Because I remember even the last time my boss called me for a meeting to discuss my growth in the company, he asked me about my 5 years, and I told him, from the way I've seen, even just the way my role has grown in this company, I cannot tell you what 5 years will look like for me. But I can tell you the things I want in life generally. Like, I want happiness. I want to be content. I want to afford to travel to places. But I can't tell you that in 5 years, I see myself as the CEO of Sijui what. No, me, I don't know. I came into this company as a writer. I am now an SEO specialist. I have gone through 6 roles in this company in less than 4 years. If that is evidence for anything, it shows you how life is. And I can't sit here and think that I can plot that out. Yes, I can plan. I can plan for my future. I can make sure I secure a better future for myself, in the sense that I won't be scrambling for money the way I am right now in the future. Those are things that I can do. I can set them in place right now. But I can't tell you that I can draw a clear picture of where I should be, and that's something I'm working towards. And I am open to the spontaneity that life throws at me. If next year someone says you move to Bali and you start working in Bali, I will go. And I've told people so many times, because I am ailed with anxiety. And to work through that, I started a system in 2020, because I wanted to in 2019, maybe. No, 2019, and then COVID locked us down. So in 2019, I started a system of saying yes, because I was always very introverted and I still have bad anxiety. I never used to go anywhere. You'd invite me anywhere, I just think I would freeze in my steps. Like, So I started being very conscious about saying yes. So someone will invite me to a concert, I'll say yes, and I'll go. Someone will tell me what, I'll say yes, and I'll go. So that helps a lot with just being spontaneous. And I think up until now, it's really helped with me being happy, because if you embrace the spirit of spontaneity, not a lot of things hit you up with an attack, So if tomorrow I wake up and, something is not working out, it's disappointing, it's sad, you're angry, cry, lash out, do whatever you need to do to express those negative emotions. But at the end of the day, we take life as it comes, a day at a time. Those are some of the things I have been doing in my life. And I just feel like embracing those very tiny aspects of life or qualities that we didn't know we had. That's just it's easy. It's just easy for me. There's something else that has made me happier. and that's understanding extent. I think it's empathy. Maybe it's empathy, but I don't know how to phrase it. Let me explain it and then you'll understand it. So it's in the sense that you're able to understand people from a personal point of view, and therefore that whatever they do does not affect you negatively. You understand? Like you're understanding things from an innate point. So I remember when I was suicidal, the last straw before I actually tried to kill myself was that I was watching the news every single day, and nothing good ever came of news. Like every day, sijui who's killed who, sijui who's beaten who, sijui. There was just never good news. And I was thinking to myself, even if I try to change the world cannot change. It's pointless, right? But then I got to a point and thought to myself, so this is where I had the epiphany. So there's this what is it called? An initiative called Usikimie. Usikimie is an initiative for rescuing gender-based violence victims. And there's this time they released a chart where they were saying, if you send this amount of money, it will feed 2 kids for a day, or it will feed lunch to 1 child for 2 days. That broke down the aspect of charity for me so much that it was easy for me to do something for the world. And that's where I took up the essence of one person at a time, one thing at a time. So I cannot wake up and eradicate poverty. But if I send 200 shillings, can you imagine 200 shillings? I have 200 shillings, of course. If I send 200 shillings, there's a child who can eat for 2 days. So that's how that aspect changed for me. So I was just like, I don't have to go out there and have a huge initiative. I'm not Billy Gates. But if I can do one thing, if I can do just one thing that will change this life, that's my giving back to the world. I am not the kind of person who will go to the streets and march. I am not that kind of activist, but I keep telling people I am an activist. My life is very unconventional. And how I change lives is one person at a time. It's easier for me to process it like that. If I send 300 shillings, this child will have lunch for 3 days. And that's way better than me thinking, oh, this 300 won't do anything. And at the end of the day, this child lacks lunch anyway, right? So breaking it down makes it easier for you to process these few things. I'm trying to think of another aspect where I used to think that I need to do things big. Or I used to think I need to empower women. I need to go on this feminism campaigns, But then I realized it's impossible to even impact people like that, because at the end of the day, first of all, feminism has a very negative connotation to it. So there's this time I was seated with my best friend and she said, this feminist wamenibo. And I told her, but I'm a feminist. And she said, what? Where are you a feminist? And I was like, the feminism you're experiencing is third wave feminism. That is not the initiative that feminism had initially to begin with. But yes, I'm a feminist. And for me, feminism was easier for me to practice in the sense that, again, one person at a time, one thing at a time. I made sure the women who I work with in my company have access basic things. I made sure if I'm in authority of deciding salaries or something of the sort, that has to be plain field. A guy is receiving 20K, you're receiving 20K for the same amount of job. If someone falls sick, we figure out how we cover up for each other. It doesn't matter whether you're a guy or a woman. So for me, that has just been the process for changing one person. My nephews, I told my sister, it's okay, I can keep making your child's hair every single day. I do not care. I will come make your hair. I'll come make your child's hair. Just as long as you don't relax it. One person at a time. I just want your child to enjoy their natural hair. I don't want them to think that the standard for beauty for hair is long, straight hair, that their hair is fine. And I can't go out there and run campaigns but I am willing. I know you don't want to spend extra money. I know you don't want to spend the work that comes with washing soil off natural African hair. I will do it. It's okay. I will do it. One person at a time. And processing things for me like that has been very, very nice. Very beautiful. And also understanding people from their point of view. Oh, that was my initial point. Understanding people from their point of view is knowing that you see, like right now, I could be very bitter. I could be very bitter to my parents about the things, the traumas they caused me. But then you sit down and you realize, this your parents. They raised you the way they were raised by their parents. Their parents were children of slaves. They saw their parents getting whipped with chains. They saw their parents chained to things and killed. And you think that was an easy upbringing for them. And they didn't know any other way other than to instill the violence and to pass it down, right? And as much as sometimes you just want your parents to acknowledge or to see things from a different perspective, at the end of the day, if I were put in the position they were in growing up, would I have been different? And for that reason, it just helps you. So sometimes you get even bullies at work. Sometimes I've shared the story on TikTok about the people who used to bully us when we were young girls at a certain company, and they used to tell us that we are stealing their husbands. And I was just like, if at the time I understood what I understood now, I'd realize that this person, first of all, is very insecure. So that in itself makes them sad to me more than I am angry at them. The fact that you have to think that you need to protect your husband from cheating, to me is very sad now. But at the point I was just like, I didn't get it at the way I get it right now. So understanding people from where they're coming from helps a lot with just knowing, bana. This one, I know where they're coming from. So you don't go into Messiah treatment. You don't go and start helping those people. No. What happens is that you just understand where they're coming from, and therefore the things they do don't affect you negatively. So if someone came and bullied me, I don't feel like I have a problem. Understanding why they're bullying me, understanding the mental state in which they are in, understanding their trauma, helps me understand that, they're just bullying me because they're insecure. And for that reason, I know it's them, it's not me. And so I can go about my life just knowing it's not me. And that's easier. It's way easier. So, this episode I didn't know would be this long, but I hope you have gotten some of the things that keep me happy. I am a very happy person. I love to be happy. And if there's one thing I ever said in life, if I am not happy, I would rather die. Let me tell you, if you wake up one day and I don't feel fulfillment, I don't feel like smiling, guys, me, I'm out. You deuces. We'll see you later. I have to be happy. After surviving my first suicide attempt, I said, there are no options. Imagine, guys, I will be happy or happy. And if I am not, then I'm not doing this life. I'd rather stay happy. And happiness does not mean that you don't have points of anger and sadness and guilt and all those negative things. Even jealousy is something that I experience. But you have to train yourself to find your happy place. You have to train yourself to find that place that makes you feel good. So even me right now, I know someone has upset me. I just need to walk away, find a quiet place, breathe. Sometimes I need to sleep. Sometimes I need to not talk to this person for a while. There are mechanisms that are there, but at the end of the day, I am happy. And being a happy person, the people around me find joy, find comfort, find peace around me. And that's a good thing, because I think the people I am surrounded with right now are very happy people. And for that reason, I'm in this circle of happiness. And with that said, we close down season 2. This has been amazing. I love it. Season 3 is coming up. I will brief you. You will be participating now. And I just can't wait. Stay happy, please. Find your happy place. always be happy. This has been In All Honesty podcast. My fabulous name is Oliver Rao, and until next time, bye and peace.